Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! The most incredible fan base that you could ever have the privilege of recording a video for, and a profound honor, are the Descendants of Zombies niche. The Descendants of Zombies niche have been incredibly supportive of me. You guys have accepted me from the very first video that was ever uploaded here, and I would like to take this moment to say thank you to every fan of Descendants of Zombies, every super fan out there that's forever dedicated their lives to believing in their favorite stars, for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. It has been such an honor for me to sit here in this chair every morning and every night and share with you my stories about how I became a fan and how I discovered the power behind Descendants of Zombies, two franchises that brought us that much closer together and made believers out of all of us. Because no matter who we were, we all had stories, and we wanted more than anything else in the world to have the opportunity to share those stories with thousands of fans just like us, who felt the same way and very passionate forever and always about Descendants of Zombies. A franchise or franchises that brought us that much closer together and made us the best of friends. I know for a fact, and most certainly, that I would not be here if not for each and every one of you. So when it comes to having these conversations about people like Kylie and Freya and Malia, who is one person who I never seem to say enough nice things about, because Malia Baker is a beautiful person, and I've always given the distinction to Ruby Rose Turner for having been my favorite Descendants character for just how genuinely sweet the girl was. The one thing that always stood out about me about Ruby was this appreciation for life that she always had and carried with her, for the people that she surrounded herself with, and the fans that made her the person that she is today. You guys have really shaped the future of Disney and Nickelodeon, and I can never seem to say thank you guys enough, and I can never seem to say thank you enough to your favorite stars for having made me the person that I am today and really giving me a chance. Presenting me a chance to share with you my story and tell you guys how I felt about people like Kylie Cantrell. Because from the very first moment I saw Kylie Cantrell, I knew she was going to be something special. I knew she was going to have a way of touching each and every one of our hearts, and I just wanted to be a part of that. So when it came to having these conversations about Kylie, I wanted to take away the criticism and replace it with a really cool vibe that people could find time in appreciating and listen to what I had to say. And my story would go on to be heard by more people than I've perhaps ever been given credit for, having made this the most popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time, because that's all I ever wanted to do and be a part of. Because when you can touch the hearts of thousands of people who love Descendants of Zombies, the feeling that you get from creating this content is unlike any feeling that you could ever have the chance to experience. You know, I remember being a wrestling fan years ago and a fan of superheroes, and thinking that everything that I saw in professional wrestling was real. It was nothing far from being real. And I believe that when these two guys were going to have a steel cage match, they were really going to hate each other, and they were going to have the greatest match that you ever witnessed. And you would pay $50 for a pay-per-view every month just to see who was going to come out on top. Or you watch the latest episode of the Power Rangers or Buffy the Vampire Slayer to find out who Buffy the Vampire Slayer was going to kill next, or going to fall in love with, or how the Power Rangers were going to save the universe. I've went through this phase where I thought that everything that I saw on TV was emphatically real. And you guys have often laughed in every video that I've shared with you guys, because together we've experienced every emotion in the book. We've cried together, we've laughed together, we've shared in so many unforgettable moments in time, because these are moments that are very far and in between, and they never really happen a whole lot. So when they do happen, we should really seize these moments and never be afraid to let the world know how we truly feel about them. Especially the individuals who are part of these moments, such as Kylie, who deserves to have nice things said about her at least for once. And I think millions of people have felt the same way. Over 1 million people are following Kylie Cantrell. Over 1 million people are following Meg Donnelly. Regardless of how the critics have felt about them, you guys have taken something special away from them every single time that we ever have these conversations. And we've heard about their personal struggles. We've found out about how oftentimes it's very difficult for them to achieve acceptance in a world that oftentimes is very difficult to find acceptance within. But you know what helps us get through that? It is having the friends that we have the chance to make and hold close to our heart, because no matter who we are, we all have that one special friend that we always count on, we forever depend on to help us make sense of what's happening around us. And this happens every day, more often than probably people give themselves credit for actually realizing it. That's what's so beautiful and so appreciative about life there. The people who kind of just come into our lives for no apparent reason and just kind of show up and that are always there every single time that we turn around. I always wanted friends like that in my life, and I always made a consistent habit of it. If I didn't have those friends, I would try to make them. And more times often than enough, I was never successful because people thought I was the biggest loser ever for wanting to be a YouTube content creator, saying, hey, Jonathan Clarke, go away. Your videos are stupid. I've heard it all. But the thing is, that's what makes it so fun, and that's what creates diversity in the world, is that everybody has a different opinion. Some people love Descendants of Zombies, other people not so much. But the people who love Descendants of Zombies have this profound way of really outshining criticism. And that's the one thing that I'd love to be a part of. These conversations where you can actually put yourself out there for having said something nice about your favorite stars. And I, for one, have loved being a part of these conversations, watching your favorite stars grow undeniably stronger, feel more confident in themselves, because they have grown into really strong people. I have never seen Kylie Cantrell feel as strong as what she is or more confident in herself than what she presently does. And I think that deserves to be encouraged. And I seem to be the only guy on YouTube who feels that same way. 6:30 this morning, before I even woke up, I was watching videos of Kylie Cantrell, and people were throwing criticism in the way of Kylie Cantrell because they necessarily didn't agree with what happened in the relationship with Malachi Burton, not really presenting Kylie Cantrell with much of a chance. What happened in Kylie Cantrell's personal life is no reflection on who Kylie Cantrell is as a person. That doesn't really tell me much about how people feel about Kylie Cantrell. It may tell me how you feel about Kylie Cantrell, but the super fans of Kylie Cantrell out there who have forever been supportive of her deserve something better to be heard and seen about her. So too do the fans of Freya Sky who have never ever quit on her, because you guys have made them the success stories that they are. You've helped them write them, and you've helped them carve legacies. You guys have helped me carve out a legacy. You may not realize it, but you guys are helping me carve out a legacy, which is the one thing I've often wanted to leave behind in this lifetime, because that's all we represent, and that's all we're ever going to be remembered for, is the legacy we leave behind. And I've always wanted to have a really cool legacy where I could tell you these funny stories that you loved. Or you would come back and watch the next video because you previously loved one of the videos that I archived for you. I have created over 1,000 videos about Descendants of Zombies, and I've never had any regrets. I've had the time of my life. Every morning before 8:35, I wake up and I record these videos, and I just hope that somebody is going to hit the subscribe button. Somebody's going to love what I have to say, because I feel just as passionate as what they do about Kylie Cantrell. I have forever loved Malia Baker, and God knows that I think Ruby Rose Turner is one of the greatest people that I've ever laid eyes on or had the privilege of covering. So because it's a privilege and an honor to talk about these stars and share with you my stories, all I've ever wanted to do was say something nice and just hope for the best, and hope that somebody was going to feel the same way, hear my stories that I was sharing with you, and hit my subscribe button. Because I've honestly had the time of my life sitting here in this chair. I've had the time of my life sharing with you my stories about how I was a fan of Descendants of Zombies and how overwhelmingly popular this YouTube channel seemed to become. Because I think that if you can't say anything nice about your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars, then you should really never say anything at all. Because there are far too many critics out there on YouTube who go out of their way to write critical reviews because they think criticism is cool. It's criticism that's what attracts attention in this universe. But you know something? Even with how big this universe seems to be, the one thing that critics have often got to realize is that no matter how much criticism you throw the way of somebody, they come out stronger on the other side of the spectrum because they have to deal with it. They learn how to cope with it. So criticism really doesn't have an effect on somebody. But the thing is, behind closed doors, you don't know what this person is going through. So before you ever say anything about them, you should think about how they're going to feel. Because I remember when Meg Donnelly was so proud to be a part of this musical, Ropeback Mountain, and Milo Manheim came out of love and support for her. He showed an unbelievable amount of support for her. He was there front and center to support her. All of her friends came out in love and support for her. And she was so excited to be a part of this musical. And then within a week of her performing on Good Morning America, she started receiving all this criticism. And I read countless reviews of Meg Donnelly's performances. Nobody really wanted to give her much of a chance. But I did, and millions of you did, because you were super fans. And that's what helped Meg Donnelly see it through, was how you guys believed in her with all of your heart. And you continued to believe in her for many months to come. But I remember the criticism she received. And to be honest with you guys, it really touched a soft place in my heart because I felt like she deserved better. She deserved more of a chance. I remember how much the character Addison Wells would go on to mean to her, and how it made her a stronger person, because she knew she was going to be a part of something special, and she was going to make believers out of all of us, because this character had never been seen before on Disney Channel. And to be honest with you guys, from the first moment I saw Meg Donnelly, I knew she was going to be something special. I knew she was going to stand out for bringing these characters to life with the character traits she used, and how much she believed in this character, and how much her co-star, Milo Manhunt, actually supported her and believed in her. The thing is, we not only saw it on the set of Zombies, but we saw it off the set of Zombies, and that's what made this such a huge success, given the fact they believed in each other with all their hearts, and they took their friendship and their relationship on screen further than any power couple had ever taken it from whatever generation you may remember being a fan of. Because I speak from the perspective of being a Disney fan for pretty close to 30 years. I've been watching and reviewing Disney for over 30 years. I may not have had the chance to really say how I felt about Disney and Nickelodeon through the years, because oftentimes as a co-host of a show, which pretty much what I was, I fell under the criteria. I was told what to say and how to feel. And that really wasn't an effective way of coming across. I think that in every video you ever record, you should speak with an open heart and an open mind, and hope that somebody is going to hit your subscribe button and like your video, because that's really the only hope you ever have. But if you can put yourself out there for being a fan and letting people know how you feel, saying, hey everybody, my name's Jonathan Clarke, I've got this really cool Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel I would love for you to subscribe to, that's the only hope a YouTube content creator only ever has, not just me. And I think that a lot of people have been, really excited about Descendants of Zombies for a really long time, so just let the world know how you feel about it, and never be afraid to share your true feelings about something. Because to be honest with you guys, when I hear about this criticism directed towards Kylie Contrell and Meg Donnelly, it really upsets me, because I think that if you give them more of a chance, more opportunities are going to come their way, and they're really going to have the chance to shine and be a part of something so spectacular. And I have never felt more honored to share in my thoughts and my stories with each and every one of you. I just recently noticed that one of my videos put up over 10 likes and 450 views. That was talking about the cast of Zombies 5, which I know a lot of you are really excited about. For some reason, you guys love hearing my stories about wanting to hunt vampires. Now, I thought my girlfriend was a vampire, and how I thought my roommate may have been a werewolf, and I contemplated shooting him. And the thing is, I tell you these stories because I do love putting smiles on your faces, to make you believers out of everything that you thought may have been real in your life, because we've all went through this phase where we thought everything that we saw on Disney Channel or just TV in general was real. I went through that phase, we all did, because we saw the magic in what Disney was promoting. We saw the fun in what Nickelodeon was really putting out there. I remember being a huge fan of shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps, and being scared to death to watch them. And I'm here to tell you guys, if you went through the same phase and you felt the same way, there's never been nothing wrong with that. When I saw Malia Baker be a part of shows like The Babysitter's Club and the reboot of Are You Afraid of the Dark in 2022, they shot this one during the pandemic. And I remember having a profound amount of respect for Malia Baker for how much her character meant to her and that chance meant to her, because I think that a lot of people who are a part of casts like Descendants looked at it as a chance. And they took full advantage of it because they wanted to put an image out there that people could actually draw inspiration from. And even with how different Kylie Contrell is in this, what she refers to as power era, I think we can also refer to it as a power era, because that really is what it is. It's growing out of being a childhood star and into a more mature adult. And that's what's really fun about Kylie Contrell, is how she's never afraid to put herself out there regardless of how people feel about her. I think deep inside, she's always cared about what people have felt about her, but the thing is, she shies away from letting people know how she truly feels. And that's what makes Kylie Contrell so special, because when she finally does tell you guys how she truly feels, that's what makes her so special. And I would be so honored to have her as a friend, man. I would call her every day just to see how she is. Because the thing is, no matter how annoying that one guy is who always calls you, at least he has enough courtesy to call you and actually check on you, to always answer the phone every single time that you call. If you can find that one person who always answers the phone for you every single time that you call, and always goes out of his way to say something nice to you regardless of how you may be feeling or what you may be going through, that is somebody to hold on to, and that is somebody to value and keep in your life. And that's the best piece of advice that I can offer to anybody who may be watching this video today going through the same thing. You guys may be feeling downhearted today, you may be going through a lot, And I've always wanted you guys to know that this YouTube channel is here for you out of love and support, because I know how much Descendants of Zombies has meant to you. I know how much it's touched your heart, how much of a profound impact it's had on each and every one of your lives. So I say let's talk about it, let's celebrate it, and let's honor your favorite stars the way they've forever and always been meant to be honored at just after 9:02 a.m. in the morning. I know that's really crazy early to be recording a podcast, but that's how much I appreciate each and every one of you. I've loved having these conversations. I've loved sharing with you my stories, and just the one and only hope I've ever seemed to have is putting out these stories for people to hear and see more than ever before. And because of you, more people on YouTube know who Jonathan Clarke is. And that's what makes recording these videos for me such a joy and such a profound honor. If somebody were to ask me in an interview, because years ago I used to do a lot of interviews for podcasts that people probably had never heard tell of, but I used to do hundreds of interviews where people would actually interview me, because I've interviewed hundreds of sports personalities and people in the entertainment industry. You may have to go back a ways to find them, but I've recorded over 3,000 videos. So in the interviews, people would ask me when they were profiling my career, one of the greatest joys that I've ever said is just being able to resonate with people and knowing that you had a profound impact on people's life. If you can change the landscape of something like Descendants of Zombies for giving people hope and presenting them with a second chance, that's all that's ever mattered. That's all that's ever mattered to me. It's never been about qualifying for the YouTube Partnership Program, which became available in 2009, for those of you who don't know it. 2009, the YouTube Partnership Program became public in homes, and people could use YouTube to gain financial gain and support. But the thing is, it never mattered to me about qualifying for the YouTube Partnership Program. What mattered to me the most was creating content for each and every one of you that somewhere, somehow could touch your heart. I had no idea how I was going to do it, because before all of you were in my life, I was pretty much a loser. I was going to school, I was being shoved in lockers, I was being called names, I was being tripped up in the hallway. I had everything done to me that a person could possibly ever have done to them, and that's as honest as I can be with each and every one of you. So when I hear stories about how people are bullying and struggling with the same thing, the thing is, guys, I want you to know that you're not alone. And no matter what you're going through, everything is going to be okay. No matter how difficult that may seem to be to grasp the concept of. I think everybody eventually does have a light, and everybody does eventually find it. Now, I know that sounds very reminiscent of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, but because Cloud was one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters of all time, and will, until the day I die, be one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters of all time, I think I can get away with stealing this quote. Because what Cloud was really speaking was truth. He said that in the Kingdom Hearts video game series in the Hercules world, when you just about made your exit from the Hercules world and you completed all your missions. He said, you will find your light, because everybody eventually does have one. And I think that's what Descendants of Zombies has always taught us, is to give us a greater appreciation for life and what life truly has meant to thousands of people. Because no matter who we are, we all have different struggles we deal with. Behind closed doors, in front of people all the time, they may never say it to us, but they realize what we're going through. And I think the people who go out of the way to help us are the people that we should be giving credit to and showing a profound amount of respect to. Because I've often believed there are far more kinder people in this world than ever given credit for, and I think that's what Descendants of Zombies has taught me, is that there are far more kinder people out there than we seem to realize. Because this niche is full, I know for a fact, this niche is full of very supportive people who will never quit on you, who will always be here for you, and will help you see through everything that you may be going through in your own life. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you've shown this YouTube channel from the very first video that I ever had the honor of creating. Because all I've ever wanted to be a part of is some way or somehow touching each and every one of your hearts and recording relatable content and putting it out there for you to watch. Because once you put your art out there, it is no longer your art. It becomes the art of every fan of Descendants of Zombies. And how they feel about Descendants of Zombies is what it comes down to. That's always and forever what's mattered to me as the content creator behind this channel, because that's all I ever was a content creator. You guys are the ones who came together and truly created something special. And you gave me a chance to be heard and seen both ways more than ever before. And I will never ever thank you guys. There is no turning back. We are going full throttle right on through. We go through 365 days a year. And I love posting videos to give you a positive vibe for Descendants and Zombies. And if anything, hope for a future that has everything to do with your favorite stars. We can look ahead, but we can look ahead in a positive way and give them more of a reason to believe in themselves more than ever before. And I'm just so excited to be a part of that with thousands of people. If you are somebody watching a Jonathan Clarke video this morning, Jonathan Clarke on YouTube, oh no, I get it. Thank you so much. Welcome in. It's an honor to meet you. My name is Jonathan Clarke, and yes, the rumors are true. I am the biggest fan of Descendants and Zombies, and I love and support you guys, man, so much with all of my heart. And I would love for you guys to subscribe to this YouTube channel, which is far more said by any other YouTube content creator out there that you'll probably ever hear. Because I think that a lot of people need to say thank you more on this platform. I think a lot of people need to realize the appreciation and the value, how much people value Descendants and Zombies, and never be afraid to let the world know how they truly feel about it, but in a passionate way. I think showcasing passion never happens enough. There are never enough opportunities to showcase your passion for who and what you love, and it's something we should really take full advantage of and truly seize. Thank you so much for watching this video and having Descendants and Zombies mean so much to each and every one of your hearts, and thank you so much for believing in this YouTube channel and having made it your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke, and forever and always, it's been my honor.